Hey guys, it's RySoFly or Ryan, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm playing some Apex Legends with some friends, and then later on, I have a solo gameplay where I win the game. And at the same time, while we watch this, I wanted to discuss some tips and tricks that you can use for your next interview in order to get your job. These are some of the things that I've learned throughout my interviewing times and the 10-15 jobs that I've had, progressing from customer service jobs, sport check, and going up to a property manager jobs in the private residential industry. At the end of the day, a job is a job. Each job has its own requirements, and the way that we portray ourselves to the employer is a major reason that they will hire us. So the first thing that I would suggest you to do before you go in for an interview is to think about your personal showcase. So if you've done projects in school that have some transferable skills to the position that you're applying for, I would recommend taking a copy of this report or this project with you to the interview, a physical copy, and then sort of finding a chance or an opportunity in the interview to discuss the work that you did, what it took to get it done, and how those actions you took can transfer to the job that you're applying for. This is a really good trick to use. Not really a trick, but a skill to have. Because when employers or hiring managers even see a resume, they really have to focus on the skills that you have there, and if you can't portray that in their interview, it will make it more difficult to get the job. So when you take this document or project, they're going to see a physical copy of it, and they're going to have a good example of some work that you have done that can really help the company in the future. A little example from my life: when I applied for a property manager job, through my education, I had to do some market research, looking up the supply and demand of residential housing, and I cataloged all of that in an Excel document to show the company, I guess. And when I showed them that I had an Excel document with all this data collected, it was a surprise to the hiring lady, that I had something to even discuss. So she was taken back, and once you can get a positive surprise in, you're definitely leaving a lasting impression on the interviewer. So I was lucky enough to get the job after interviewing, and one of the main reasons, I think, is just because of the reaction I got from discussing this little database that I had, and how it helps me to do the job that I am doing, helps me to stay up to date on the market, and it just shows initiative as well. So that is the personal showcase. It's a skill and something that you can use for sure, because I guarantee you've worked on some sort of project in school that can help. Or, if you have been working for a while and you've done some meaningful work for the company, use that as well. Not all of us are in that position, so this is just a really good technique to use, just so that you're not always talking about yourself and your attributes, rather than yourself and what you can accomplish. So that is one of the skills that I wanted to talk about. This gameplay is pretty much halfway through. I had a teammate that left, and at the beginning of the game. So I just decided to play it out how I would if I was a solo player. You can't really charge at people when you're playing solo. You have to play more passive and choose your shots more carefully. So that's definitely what I'm portraying in this gameplay. Yeah, I had to camp in a corner while they ran by, but that's just part of the game, you know. I baited them over and they didn't suspect it, so that was my strategy and it worked. Anyways, the second skill that is super important is your communication skills, and a little technique when it comes to interviewing is to remember the FAB method. So FAB stands for feature, advantage, benefit, and you want to use this method when you're communicating in your statements that you're making. It's a technique that you have to think about. It's definitely more of a selling technique when it comes to being a salesperson and identifying the needs of a customer, but the same principle applies to interviewing. You're pretty much selling yourself to these employers that you're going to apply for, and you really want to make sure that the quality that you are portraying is up to par with your communication, of course. So just to think about it in a different way, the FAB statement applies to products, services, yourself, anything that you are trying to be persuasive about. So let's say you are able to sell a product because of your ability to connect with people. So let's say what's the feature of connecting with people? So connecting with people is essentially something that you need to do in order to gain the trust of customers and other people in the industry. So the feature of that is that people need help, people are consumers, and the advantage to being someone who can connect with people is that they're more likely to share information with you and more likely to cooperate with you. And then the benefit of that is potential sale or whatever your goal is that you're trying to reach from that conversation. That would be the benefit. It's a bit of a tricky idea to wrap your head around because it applies to really everything. I remember when I was doing real estate, I would pretty much try to use the FAB method whenever I was talking to consumers. It's really good, and I think that you should try to apply it to your own method of speaking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.